Fireworks and Lighting Commission meeting to order. Number 2, we need approval, additions or corrections to the meeting, the minutes of the following meetings. The regular commission meeting held on May 9th, 2018.
I move to approve the regular commission meeting held May 9th as written.
Okay, I'll second. John made the motion, Joe second. And all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Special commission meeting held on May 30th, 2018. I'd like to point out one thing, that we started the meeting at 10 o'clock and we ended it at 9:34.
That's efficient.
But I bet you that's 10:34. So would somebody still like to approve the minutes of the meeting?
I move to accept the minutes as corrected.
Okay. We have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Rick made the motion, John second. All in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, action items. July 4th, I should say 4th of July fireworks donation request.
Yeah, there's a letter in your packet. The past several years, we have contributed $500 towards the effort of the fireworks downtown. With that, I'll answer any questions.
I move that we approve the donation for the fireworks, the Team Fireworks Committee.
I'll second the motion.
How much are we?
In the amount of
$500?
That's what we have in here.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? If not, all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay. Water engineering service agreement selection.
What are the anticipated projects that this consultant would address?
There's 3 projects, possibly 4 coming up. One of them is wellhead efficiency at number 5. The other one is going to be a hydraulic model within the city, which helps us determine sizing and flow and pressures. And the other one would be a HDPE lining of the well water main, which you guys have heard in previous meetings. And if there would be 4th, it'd be just some structural analysis of the well houses where the pump stations are.
On the, it wasn't clear to me who was the lowest bid?
So this isn't a low bid qualification, it's actually a qualification RFP. So you take in multiple things for you, take in your rates, your team experience and so on. And so on average, the lowest bid was AECom, the second lowest was Strand, and third was Baxter Woodman, and fourth was SEH. We interviewed 3 of them. Now, the individuals that are going to be working on the hydraulic modeling and the lining and the wellhead efficiency were lower at Strand. Not to mention that they're the only company out of all of these that has a corporate office in the state of Wisconsin. So,
Go ahead.
so we kind of took it, after we interviewed 3 of these, we looked at all the different things, like this locality versus rates versus qualifications, and we felt that Strand, all 5 of us felt that Strand was the unanimous decision.
I think some of the other things that we've looked at, sometimes there's really big.
Well, we haven't really evaluated a water engineer in several years. I think actually when I got here 10 years ago, we were using SEH. And one gentleman in particular there, but the last couple projects that they've done for us, we haven't been real pleased with.
Okay.
So that's when we decided to go out and see who was available and interview new firms. And as Adam said, SEH did come back, has by far the most expensive engineering firm in the request for proposals. But
So they were lower on these 3 defined projects.
Yes, the defined projects for the,
So if we don't do the fourth project, we would be going with the low bidder. Is that what you're saying?
yes, well, there's other things, there's technical staff that are lower on one firm versus the others. And so if you took all the positions of the senior project managers, these leads on the models and wellhead efficiency and technical staff, the one firm would be a little lower than Strand, but the ones that we're concentrated on, that would be doing the majority of the work, Strand is lower on. Not to mention they have familiar projects in the city. They are actually doing that boring under the river for the wastewater treatment plant right now.
Has the city been pleased with the projects?
They have, I called Joe Eichstead over at the city, and he's been very happy with all the projects that they've worked with him on. Now, they do work for the wastewater and for city engineering. They are dedicated, the city uses MSA and Strand kind of back and forth.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second that.
John Bergen, you made the motion,
I did.
and Rick second.
Yes.
And I have one question. As far as when you talk of cost, that's hours per, price per hour per professional, I think.
It is.
Like you get an engineer at $250 an hour, a technician at $150.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the way a typical 3-year master service agreement is bid, based on rates and qualifications rather than a lump sum, because you don't know the actual projects that may come into play in the next 3 years.
Okay. Okay, anybody else have a question? If not, all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay, thanks. Okay, department updates. Safety Committee.
I had a question on the safety report. Research, excavation, competent person training.
Yes.
Anybody want to address that?
Oh, I wasn't sure if there was more to that question. Excavation competent person training, basically we want to make sure that everybody on the water crew has been through that training because they're all involved in excavation. We have 2 new employees since last year, and we had 1 person that missed the training the time before. So I just want to find out where, a lot of times in the summer times when they have those trainings, so it's just finding out when those are out there so we can get those 3 employees set up and trained.
Okay, so we're not talking about training one person, we're training all of them.
There's only 3 on the crew that don't have the training.
Okay, and they
So-
will be trained.
Yeah, well, as soon as we find a training that works out and fits in everything that we need to, I'll get with Dale and we'll get her all figured out.
That includes the open trenching also, correct?
Correct, correct, yep.
Any other questions or comments? I have not the line superintendent report.
What's cooking with the animal thing? Is this a particular area that we haven't got our cages on yet? Or are our cages not performing properly? What's the scoop?
The 3 outages there were not well protected. You know, I would say we're still probably only 25%.
But how out of normal is that? I mean,
That's
scale
not out of
goes
normal
up
at all.
to 3. Yeah.
It's right, it's 3. Yeah, it's not out of normal at all.
And the other one on this transformer failure, was that a new load that caused that?
No, it was at the Wazeecha campground. They put a 800 amp service in a few years ago and didn't upgrade the transformer sizes. So it was just incredibly overloaded, 8 times.
Oh, is that the hot weekend?
Yep. Over Memorial Day. So we replaced 3 out there last week to bring the whole campground up to snuff.
Not that snuff is good.
No, it's all tuned up out there though.
Any other questions or comments? If not, the water department operations.
These water valves leaking, how do we detect those?
We run a valve exercising program every 5 years. And so we spend 3 years exercising all the valves in the whole city. And what happens, it will determine some are missing operation nuts, some are leaking. And during that process, we'll schedule miscellaneous ones for replacement.
And I see that a contractor assisted replacing a valve. Why wouldn't our own crews do that?
These are specialty valves, they're actuator valves, so it can automate the filter plant. This is down in the pipe galley for filters 4 and 5. And so you have to have a special company come in and actually be able to install these.
How big were those?
20 inches, we had some of the waste ones were 20 inches, the influence were 18.
Do we have a good supply of fire hydrants on hand now? Is there a normal replacement during the year, like 20 or whatever?
Yeah, we budget so many hydrants every year to replace. I believe 6 is budgeted in 2018.
Okay, good, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, the office manager report.
Thanks for your service, Joel.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Joel.
Enjoyed it.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So you left off the receivables?
The baton has been handed, Jack.
Okay.
Well, now we go to the new office manager. Now Lynn has to explain.
Okay. So congratulations, Lynn, and Joel as well.
I have one question on the dislocation. I think it's the where we have how many we disconnect and letters sent. And it looked like there was for April, there was a lot of disconnection. And not April, I mean May. And usually don't they take place in April? Is that because of the snowstorms that we left everybody on until we...
And then the heat slowed us down a few weeks later.
Oh, yeah, you can't, there's laws against that. Well, you know, you can't hit your kid anymore. I don't know if that was appropriate. Are there any other questions for receivable?
I just wanted to compliment the staff for being so involved with menu. I think it's good to see that the commission is on the forefront of regulations and changes in the industry instead of sitting back and waiting for things to happen and then try to address it. So I certainly appreciate the staff being involved on the forefront, being active in menu. So thank you.
Are there any other comments, questions? If not, the Director of Finances.
Health insurance is going up. Surprise, surprise, right?
Exactly. At least with the change they're doing now, you know, our costs are kind of locked in for the next 18 months for sure. So they know what they're going to be, so there's no unexpected.
Who is the, I see it going to a Spirus Arise. Is there a lot of people in this area involved in that insurance and a lot of companies?
I believe the county is, I believe the technical college is, I mean, Renaissance is, so there's quite a few businesses that are part of
And what
that.
did we have up until now? Do we have security?
We were self-insured through security,
Okay.
so now
And you're not going to be
we
self-insured?
are not.
And can I ask a question why we've changed from self-insurance to regular plan?
Sure, the city has been watching those claims the last couple of years, and those claims have been really increasing higher than expected, and even the last 2 years in particular. Big claims have gone up. The stop loss insurance behind it was going to be going up 70% this year. Which was going to be a really big number for the city to make up. I think we could have handled it, but the city would have been in pretty big problems with about a 20% increase in health insurance in July 1st, so that's why they decided.
When you said the stop loss, you mean the reinsurance?
The reinsurance, yes.
So that's, of course, they're always going to go with the more usage, of course, that's continually climbs.
Yeah, over the last 3 years, they've paid out more than we've paid in premium, so it was just a matter of time before that caught up, so.
So does this bring us to equal to this past year with the new provider? Or is it still?
There's going to be a small increase, or an increase of about 6% come July 1st in premiums.
Typically, we don't see a mid-year increase.
We haven't,
Wait till
no.
the beginning of the year, but.
Yeah, that's usually kind of odd to get a mid-year increase, I know.
Aspirus has been really good to work with. They've made a lot of concessions and kind of worked a lot with the city to kind of make sure everyone's comfortable with the change. And
So are you changing insurance companies in the middle of the year?
we are. And that's one of the things the Aspirus is crediting everybody's deductible, so that's all taken care of and everything will work out well.
And I take it you were always January through December. Now you're going to be in the middle of the year.
There's still going to be a January to December. This is just a 6-month window that they decided to go now.
Okay.
The reinsurance was always a July 1 date. So that's why they decided to make this change, July 1 instead of waiting until January.
Okay.
And the reinsurance is no longer necessary?
Right.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, the Information Systems Administrator report.
I saw there was a post, a Facebook post, that had like the outage coverage map, so I'm assuming that's functional now?
That is functional and it is now live. It's on our website.
Okay. How do you navigate there?
On our website, on the right side is a short menu.
Yeah.
In that menu is outage map.
Okay.
And if you pull it up on your phone, I think it's the third button down, because it's a different mobile website than it is on the computer. So it's either the third or fourth button down on the mobile app, on the mobile website.
So how is that intended to work in terms of there's another squirrel causes an outage?
It's driven by the meters.
So if you're a resident and your power goes out, okay, you could pull it up and see that you're in that block or how big the block is, or I don't know how instantaneous how this is happening.
Yeah.
Or do you wait for somebody from the office staff to post it on Facebook or?
No, it's a live map, so it's on all the time.
From the website, yeah.
Yep, and it shows any current outage.
Okay, so it's instantaneous.
Yeah,
Okay.
and depending on the size of the dot and the color of the dot, depends on how many customers are actually out in that area.
Okay.
It's just a way to inform customers that we know there's an outage in their area, so if they were thinking, should I call in, should I not call in? You know, if they pull up their area on the map and they see, hey, there's no outage here, it would be a good cue to call in and let us know that something's going on.
And when they do call into the office staff is entering those addresses into the outage management, so it's got better predictability to figure out how big that outage actually is.
And that also in turn updates the map instantly. So.
Have to watch for that. Next squirrel.
Any other comments? If not, the Conservation Manager report.
I would like to thank Sean for attending the awards ceremony to hand off the scholarships directly to the recipients. Welcome. Thank you for
the
doing that.
recommendation too.
Pardon me?
Thank you for the recommendation.
Okay.
If there are no questions, let's go to Director of Engineering report. How are things coming with our, oh, he's not here. Where is he?
Todd's not here, but our new Tyler's here, right?
Isn't that something?
He don't fly, so he's headed out to New Orleans, driving to APPA today, I think.
He doesn't fly.
He does not.
How are the...
But Tyler's been on board for a couple weeks now, doing a great job. He's a local boy.
Well, then he must know everything, right?
Yeah, let's load him up with questions.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
He's a local boy.
He is. He knows everything about rapids.
Okay, that's
He's
good.
gonna learn more about the utility.
Well, Tyler, welcome aboard. It's good that you decided to stay in Wisconsin Rapids. The one question, how is our transformer rewind something, our new transformer?
As far as I know, it's on time. And I think he even got the one we sent back rewounded. They finally agreed to the price that was below the budget number. So we should be good to go. When is that due? That transformer due in June, isn't it?
Yeah, it's June.
Yeah.
And Jordan was here yesterday, draining the old one and getting it ready to ship back, so.
So they're going to take it early. That was one of,
Yeah.
I think there was a question if they could hold it for months before they would start like next year or whatever.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna go out when the new one comes in.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, General Manager report.
Who gets to take over for the resident historian?
I don't know. I may be picking up and calling his cell phone.
Oh, you're leaving your
If
cell
I need
phone?
any history.
Oh, that's been one of those.
So you're going back to umpiring?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'll continue to do volleyball in the fall, but probably done with baseball permanently.
Any other comments, questions? If not, the review of accounts payable.
So it looks like we made a progress payment on that transformer. Right?
So, yes, we did.
How much is held back until the,
I believe it was 20 or 25% or something like that at final.
And did we ever get a final resolution on the insurance?
We did.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
always all been taken
Okay.
care of, and
Okay.
it was about what we expected it to be, so.
And we got a tour at the last special meeting of the I don't know what we're calling it now.
Lean-to?
Lean-to, yeah, it's not a lean-to anymore though, right?
Pretty classy lean-to.
Yeah, I don't know what
You know how names kind of stick, yeah.
is that complete now, or?
Yes, I think they were
Getting pretty
finishing up
close.
fire protection, I think it's done now.
They're still
Wiring?
connected, but they've got it all wired up and the smoke detectors and everything are all in place.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna come tomorrow, and wire it all to the system and get it all operational.
It looks fantastic, you know, nice to have the equipment stored in a nice, secure place.
Any other questions about accounts payable? If not, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
John Bergen made a motion. Joel Kozicki, second. All in agreement, please say aye. Aye. Thank you.